It is the salad bowl, right? The Salinas Valley is
That's
known
right.
as
Salad bowl of the world.
Yeah, and it really is. Boy, next time you go shopping, just check to see
Right.
where your lettuce bag came from, or
If you're picking it up like Costco and you got Foxy lettuce,
yeah,
Salinas.
right, exactly.
And I could go on.
and on and on and on. Right. I do the one in our refrigerator right now is baby lettuce. Is it baby? Is that how it's pronounced? BABE lettuce.
That's actually Santa Maria.
That's Santa Maria, and it's the organic. I like that.
Yeah. Fresh Express. Lots of salads from people who buy the bag
They're
salad.
huge.
Started in Salinas. First bag salads.
So I started noticing, because I make several trips up and down Highway 101 through Monterey County, have my family up in the Bay Area, and I started noticing, I'm not sure how long it's been now, but these giant murals of farmers working in the field. And I've always assumed, well, that must...
When I moved there in about 2000, they were there. My kids were infatuated with them.
Yeah, because they're really interesting, and they capture these unique looks of the different farmers. And I've noticed more and more over time. And from what I understand, they're not just along Highway 101; they're also along Highway 68, according to Nicole Powers, one of our other reporters on the show.
She's not lying. I've seen them.
Yeah, who takes them along that route. So I started scratching my head, and I thought, where do these come from? Well, it turns out there's a local artist, John Cerney, Salinas, California native, who makes this cutout art, for lack of a better term. We'll ask him what he calls it. Yes, exactly. John, welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio.
Thank you. Good morning.
Nice to have you. And do I understand that you have a, what do you call that, an artist studio downtown Salinas?
Well, I'm in an industrial part of Salinas. I need tall ceilings, and I have a giant easel. But yeah, I've been in the same shop here for the last 16, 17 years.
Now, your farmers are larger than life. These are not life-size cutouts. These are. Do you have a scale that you work with?
Well, at one point I worked life-size with some of these things, and I was realizing that, because most of my things are alongside highways, and you're driving 55 or 60 or faster,
right.
And you really couldn't. You could see them, but you couldn't quite take them in. So I needed to work bigger. So I did a series of 10 giant field workers for a local farmer here, and I just had to kind of ask some carpenter friends of mine, how tall could I make these and still make them withstand the wind? And I came up with 18 feet as kind of a blueprint for my first ones, and that's generally what they are, about 3 times life size.
My current favorite, and I don't know, Patty, you can chime in on this if you've seen it, Nicole as well, is when you're heading north on 101, south of King City, you can only get the right perspective for a moment. It is a short moment, and it is a woman. Right? Nicole knows exactly which one I'm talking about. It's a picture of a woman, and for a brief second, you are looking at it so that she's in perspective. That seems outside the norm of the rest of yours. How did you come up with that idea?
I wanted to work, do a really, really big one, but I couldn't make them too big because that one's 70 foot tall, but it's along the side of the slope of a highway. So in order to do that, I had to do a program where I could stretch out the image. So you're right, it only looks good for a moment, but I wanted to kind of blend in with nature more so than I normally do, and that meant just almost like painting it on the mountainside itself. And I just chose an old woman, a sad old woman, although you can't quite see her emotion from the distance. It's about a quarter mile away from the highway. And I just wanted to, and there's a field of poppies below her. I wanted to see how it would look, a portrait on the side of a mountain that I couldn't paint, but I could do it in these little panels of plywood that are spare pieces of plywood that are left over from my other projects. It was a free one. I just did it for fun, and I experimented on a couple of smaller ones first, a dog and a poppy around the Salinas area, and then I just went ahead and tackled that. And the toughest part of the whole project was finding a landowner who would give me permission to just take a little sliver of their property for many years. I can't tell them exactly how many years it'll last. It'll last for probably 20 years plus. And I finally found a family, or several families that own that property, who would let me do that. And fortunately, I had a little bit of a name for myself, so I wasn't quite just a quack saying, I want to do this thing on the side of your mountain.
Right.
Okay, so there's one. I used to live in the Salinas area along Highway 68 there. for about 5 or 6 years. So my children were super familiar with many of the ones that you have. They just, they were like 3 and 4 when we moved there. So they were infatuated with seeing those when we were driving. Now, a couple that my son would always say, cool car, mommy, cool car. He's hating me right now because he's 16. But you have some with classic cars. The one I really liked was, it had like a broken windshield, and I feel like it was in like the Seaside area.
That's right. There's one for an auto glass shop in Seaside. I did that with another artist, a gal named Olia. But that's one I never see it because it's just a part of the peninsula that I don't drive through. But yeah, that was fun. Most of these people give me carte blanche to come up with an idea, and all they tell me is, I've got an auto glass shop. What can you do? So then I think of little Norman Rockwell type stories.
Right.
Yeah. And they do have sort of a Norman Rockwell look to them. It's a unique painting style that you have, John. I need to let people know that if they're listening on the radio and can't see any of these things and have not seen them before, if you go to johncerney.com, which we have a link available at eatdrinkexplore.com, you have a great photo gallery there that shows many of your pieces of work. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing it with us. We've run out of time far too quickly. I could go on for much longer, but keep up the great work. You make driving along the Central Coast even more entertaining.
Well, thanks so much, Randall and Patty. I appreciate it.
All right, stick around, everyone. And by stick around, I mean next week. Join us. We've got some great guests already lined up for next week, which should be a lot of fun. If you haven't yet, download our free apps available on Apple and Android devices. Make it a great day, everyone. We'll catch you later.